Hi, everybody, and welcome to soccermag.com. I'm Kevin Ferguson, and I've got... What's your name again? Sorry. I'm Kevin Ferguson. This is Dylan Johnson, DJ Jughead, a.k.a. Tighten your callins. We're going to talk about the Soccer World Cup, Club Soccer World Cup, yeah? And what I would say here is three things. Money, money, money. Because what is the motivation? I mean, you got these players that are supposed to be on holiday now, doing their thing with their wags, and then they're not, because there's a lot of money. Let's talk about the Mamelodi Sundowns. You tell me they get 180 million rand just to go.
Yeah, just for qualifying.
Just for qualifying, yeah. And if they draw, they get 18 million rand per draw, 36 million rand per victory. And if they qualify for the next round, they get another 150 million rand.
Yeah.
You know,
4 games, almost
so
400
if
million
they
rand.
qualify, they've probably won and drawn a game, so that's 54 plus 180 plus 150. You're talking 230, 260, you're almost talking 300 million rand. It's unheard of. It's unheard
for
of.
4 games. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And trying to make sense of this thing from a betting point of view is trying to throw the bones. I mean, you've got teams from Korea, Auckland, Mexico,
Brazil, all over, Egypt.
You've got Flamenco. You've got is River Plate there?
No, so the South American teams
Yeah.
are Palmeiras, Flamengo, Fluminense, Botafogo, River Plate, and Boca Juniors. Yes.
Okay, so I was right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're correct.
I'm very seldom wrong. What I would say in this is if you look at the favorites, the top 5 favorites are European clubs, aren't they? You know?
I don't think anyone's going to really be backing one of the lower down teams, just purely squad resources wise, I think.
Yes, for sure. So if you're a smart punter, you're going to watch a couple of the games to see, because the South American teams aren't going to get blown off the field. You know, and they may well surprise 1 or 2 teams. This is not a World Cup where you have the odd blowout and stuff. This is Auckland. I can't see them doing. I mean, there's a reason they're 1,200 to 1 to win it. Save your dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the 180 million rand and go straight home. There's no point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go party. I mean, geez. So let's look at some betting and why we would bet these teams. Real Madrid are 4 to 1, and you can understand why. They're the favorites. You can get them at some betting establishments at 9 to 2, and they'll be there or thereabouts, won't they?
Yeah, 100. I think Real Madrid are trying to make signings before the tournament. They really want to. Real Madrid have operated like very shrewdly financially, but an extra £100 million, if they win the competition, is just they can buy whoever they want. They usually do, but now they can really do it.
Really do it.
Yeah.
So you're looking at Real Madrid. Did they win anything this year? Did they win the Spanish Copa or something?
Second in La Liga, I
Yeah.
think. Quarterfinals of the semi-finals, quarterfinals of the Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah. So they haven't won anything. They'll be motivated from that point of view to win that trophy. That trophy's 24 karat gold, spins, unlocks. It's like a trophy you'd see Wonder Woman bringing home. You know, it's just absolutely gorgeous, right? And the winning team gets a replica made of it. So there's a lot of big song and dance about that. Man City are second favorites, 5 to 1. Though seeing the season they just had, I don't know how they're gonna.
I think they're trying their best to get 3 or 4 or 5 players in their team before they go to the tournament.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. I think that's the challenge for the European teams. Like, it's tough to judge because there's going to be a lot of changes because there's a transfer window open now just before the tournament. There's going to be a lot of new players coming in, players leaving.
Yeah.
So you're not judging the Real Madrid and the Man City of the previous season. It's almost going to be a new squad.
Yeah. Do you know who I love? Is Paris Saint-Germain. They've just won the European Championships 5-0. They beat Liverpool. They beat Arsenal. They beat everybody in their way. And they've got a young squad. They've got a rejuvenated squad with Enrique coaching them. They won their title a month and a half ago, it seems. So they play in a shit league, backed by Saudis, and they'll focus on this cup. If you want to look at backing Paris Saint-Germain at 5-1, it's the bet I would be making.
I agree. I think PSG is a really good side to back. They, like you said, they're young, they have energy, and I think they've almost had a mini preseason ahead of the Champions League final already. So,
Yeah.
and they're going to be on a high.
Yeah.
I think they're probably the most settled of the main competitors. If you look at their team, probably making the least changes. So,
I
think
would,
they're probably-
yeah, I would, and they're not short of money. I mean, it's like some people say, which was a better win, Marseille in '93 or Paris Saint-Germain? And I'd have to say it's Marseille because they were a French club. They didn't have the disposable income that the Saudis are throwing at PSG. I'd say that's more memorable for me. And they did it first. So PSG, take nothing away from them. Take nothing away from them. 5-0 over Inter. No one saw that coming. No one. You picked it, I know, Jug. You picked.
I picked
1-0.
PSG to win, but I didn't expect five
5-0.
goals.
Thank
Yeah,
you. No, the Inter Milan had one shot on net. Nowhere.
they were.
And Inter Milan are in this competition, but no coach. What do you make of that?
I'm not sure. I mean, Inzaghi did well there.
Yeah.
I think 2 Champions League finals. I think he got them a league title as well.
Yeah.
But I think he probably is getting out at the right time if you're considering the Champions League final. They're probably going to lose some key players. Their squad's kind of I feel like on the downturn, maybe age-wise.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of work to be done next season. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Inter have the strength to go all the way.
No, they're probably looking at getting through to the 16.
Maybe a quarterfinal push.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because think of it, if you're thinking the European teams are favorites, there's 12 European teams. And I think Inter are probably in the top half of those teams. So I think they can make a quarterfinal.
Yeah, for sure. How do you think Bayern, a team like Bayern and Chelsea? Many people say Chelsea shouldn't be there, but
That's, I think, the confusing process of people are very much look at the last 3 years' results and they say Chelsea haven't been in the Champions League. How are they in this tournament? But the whole qualification process is very confusing. It doesn't really
well,
make
didn't they win it
sense.
4 years ago?
I think the year they started qualification is when Chelsea won the Champions League.
Yeah.
And then since then, obviously, they're on a bit of an uptick now. But
Yeah.
I think Bayern and Chelsea,
Well, Chelsea will certainly will not lack for motivation
no, 100%.
in terms of money.
We know Bowley and the boys, they love their, the balance sheet.
Yeah.
So them seeing that extra, however many 100 million pounds at the end of this tournament,
Yeah.
they just will be thinking, how many young Brazilians can I buy for this amount of money?
So what's the day today?
yeah.
The 5th.
There?
What's the day? It starts
On the 14th.
It's 9 days or something.
First game's 14th of June into Miami versus Al Ahly. So, heavyweights.
Well, you just can't. I mean, I don't know what the talent pool is like in MLS.
Well, Al Ahly, I think, are a very strong African team.
Because we've
but-
seen teams tour America, but it's been preseason. This
You
is
can never judge. This is an actual tournament with something on the line.
yeah.
So it'll be, I think, another challenge. I think what will work in favor of the South American and the North American teams is the travel.
Yeah.
All of the African, Asian, European teams have to travel to America and then play a game in Los Angeles, play a game in New York.
Yeah.
There's a lot of logistics involved that could work against those players, especially at the end
Yeah.
of a long season.
And this isn't something that FIFA is looking as a gimmick. I know it's a preparation and build up to the World Cup, but it's certainly not something that they're just doing a one-off. This is every 4 years now.
No, I think this is their version of the UEFA Champions League. I think they've seen how lucrative the Champions League is every year, and they're saying, well, all we have is, the World Cup every 4 years, and that generates a lot of money.
Yeah.
But how do we get another finger in the pie?
Well, they got another thumb in the pie.
Yeah.
It's like bang, bang.
Exactly.
Money.
So now they're going to have a tournament every 2 years.
I can only imagine what DAZN, who got the official broadcast rights for this thing, paid.
I think they paid $1 billion or something. It was like $2 billion,
Yeah.
something like that. But it's another interesting one because FIFA is still struggling to sell tickets to the actual matches.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of buy-in. They just announced, I think, Qatar Airways as one of their main sponsors, I think yesterday, at the
Okay.
time of filming. So it's, as much as the pot is big, and there is, reason to buy in,
Well,
there
all these
seems a
things-
bit of a lack of interest.
Yeah, all these things take time, don't they? They
Mm.
don't just happen overnight. And when you look at the people getting involved, I think it'll be a decent tournament, especially when you get down to the business end. How many people will attend? In America has always been a troublesome place. America's always been a troublesome place for getting crowds. So especially since Donald Trump's won and there's no more transgender stuff going on there. It's like, how many people are going to go to the games? It's a meat and potato NFL football, Major League Baseball, ice hockey, basketball crowd.
And I mean, Messi is obviously a massive draw from Miami's perspective.
Yeah.
But like you said, the American crowd, it's not really a place where there's massive buy-in to a lot of these clubs. They'll probably know Manchester City, they'll know Real Madrid, they'll know Bayern Munich, but how many of these teams are going to have any sort of footing in America? Whereas I think if you went to more of a historical footballing nation first,
Yeah.
they probably would have been a lot better. If you went somewhere in South America, there would be way more buy-in.
Well, this is it.
With way less effort.
The interesting thing is that the World Cup is in Mexico, Canada, and the U.S.
Yeah.
Yet this is just staged in the U.S.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they stage a couple games in Mexico?
Exactly.
Mexico.
Imagine Inter Miami, Messi in Mexico. It would be
Beautiful.
millions of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they missed the trick there. They could have done something like that. But it'll be an interesting tournament. For me, if you're looking to get in early, take the 5-1 against for PSG. They'll certainly get you through to the final 8. I have no doubt.
100%.
And you can look at trading in and out of that bet. That's the one I'm going to take for sure. Put down a few thousand rand on PSG. They're young, dynamic, full of beans, and they're the only team that doesn't need the money though.
Yeah, their chairman, I think, in the change rooms after the Champions League finals, like, you guys can have a week off, but as soon as you come back, we're focusing on the Club World Cup, like the season starts now.
Yeah.
So they definitely, I think it's more of a reputation thing than the finance behind it.
Yeah. And there's a bigger, the whole announcement, the whole World Cup and the whole Soccer World Cup, there's something building here that I can't quite put my finger on. It could be a disaster, but we'll see how the stadiums are, how they're full, what the atmosphere is like. You're not going to...
What teams are actually put out? Are they going to put their first teams there? Is it going to be reserves?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest concern, because there are a lot of guys that are going to be very tired. So I think that's probably the biggest concern. Do Real Madrid play Jude Bellingham and Mbappe and these guys, or do they play other players? Because Mbappe is on the risk of doing his knee or pulling a hamstring.
Who's Mbappe play for now?
Real Madrid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. I think it'll be really cool to see potentially Messi match up against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think that would sell really well. Or,
Well, there'll be some games that sell really well. There'll be some games like any Auckland game. Would you go? But
unless it's Auckland versus PSG and you just want to watch 10-0.
Yeah.
That's the only selling factor of that one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's true. So you're in agreement with me, PSG as a favorite,
PSG,
as a
100%.
5-1, and we'll watch the tournament as it goes on. You can get stuff on my Money Man. I've got a WhatsApp channel now, and I've got all this other stuff. So we'll cover it for you the best that we can, and we look forward to chatting to you later. Thanks, Jug.
Cool, thanks, Gabe.
Cheers, bud.